if you are going to be mayor of this wonderful city, you have to take responsibility. It comes with the job. Unfortunately, that memo never got through to Sadiq Khan.
Susan Hall speaks out about Sadiq Khan. Viewers can't believe what she said. You're not going to believe what Susan Hall just said about Sadiq Khan. It happened live right in front of cameras, during a discussion that was supposed to stay polite, predictable, and politically correct. But what she said, it sent ripples through London's political scene, and trust me, the reactions haven't stopped since. While everyone else was talking about polls and policy papers, Susan Hall, the Conservative mayoral candidate who's never been afraid to speak, plainly decided to say what many Londoners have been whispering for months. And the way she said it, calm, confident, and unapologetic, well, that's what really got people's attention. It all went down during a radio appearance, when Hall was asked about Sadiq Khan's leadership of London. The host expected a typical political answer, something measured, diplomatic, easy to move past. But Hall leaned forward, smiled, and said plainly, "People in this city are tired of being told everything's fine when it's not. London deserves honesty." Those few words hit harder than anyone expected. Because whether you agree with her or not, she struck a nerve, the growing frustration many feel about safety, transport, and the rising cost of living in the capital. The moment she said it, the studio fell quiet for a second. Then the debate erupted. Now, to understand why this hit so hard, you have to see the bigger picture. Sadiq Khan has been at the helm of London since 2016. He's faced his share of challenges: knife crime, housing shortages, environmental debates, and endless political crossfire. Some say he's handled it with steady leadership. Others argue he's drifted too far from the day-to-day concerns of ordinary Londoners. That's where Susan Hall stepped in. She framed her criticism not as a personal attack, but as a wake-up call. When Londoners feel unsafe on their streets, when small businesses are closing, when commuters are paying more and getting less, leadership should mean action, not excuses, she said. It wasn't what she said alone, it was the tone. You could tell she was speaking from genuine frustration, not political theater. And that's exactly why the clip exploded across social media. Within hours, the video had gone viral. Twitter, or X, as it's now called, lit up. One user wrote, "Susan Hall said what half of London has been thinking." Another fired back, "More fear-mongering. London's doing fine, just more party politics." It's always the same divide, but this time, the conversation felt different. Even people who don't support her politically admitted she raised valid points about transparency and accountability. Meanwhile, some Labour supporters rallied behind Khan, calling the remarks opportunistic and overblown. But whether people agreed or not, they were talking, and that's exactly what makes this moment politically powerful. Now, insiders at City Hall reportedly weren't thrilled. According to one source close to Khan's team, the comments were designed to spark outrage, but they also reveal how desperate the opposition is to stay in the spotlight. Still, political analysts noticed something else: a shift in tone from both sides. For the first time in months, London's mayoral race isn't just about numbers and policy outlines. It's emotional again. It's personal. People aren't just debating who's right, they're debating who's listening. Hall doubled down later in the week, clarifying that her comments weren't an attack but a reflection of reality. "If we can't talk about what's wrong, how can we fix it?" she said in a follow-up interview. That one line, simple, direct, almost too obvious, has been replayed in countless TikToks and podcasts since. And it's not hard to see why. In a time when politicians often sound like rehearsed actors, Susan Hall's bluntness cuts through the noise. She may not always say what's popular, but she says it plainly, and that alone makes her stand out. Meanwhile, Sadiq Khan has kept his composure, responding with calm professionalism. When asked about the remarks, he said, "I'll continue to focus on delivering for Londoners, making our city greener, safer, and more affordable." It was classic Khan: composed, measured, and focused on his record. But even his supporters admit that moments like these are tricky. Because every time someone like Hall breaks through the politeness of politics, it stirs something in the public. People want leaders who sound human, not scripted. And that's the real story here. Beyond the headlines, this isn't just about Susan Hall or Sadiq Khan. It's about how frustration and authenticity are reshaping political conversation. Across Britain and even around the world, voters are gravitating toward voices that sound real, that don't hide behind polished soundbites. That's why this interview matters. It's not that Hall said something earth-shattering, it's that she dared to say it, in a way that felt raw and unfiltered. And love her or hate her, you can't ignore that energy. So where does this leave things? The mayoral race just got a lot more personal. Khan will likely stick to his record transport, green policies, housing initiatives, while Hall positions herself as the voice of discontent, the challenger who speaks for the ignored. It's shaping up to be a clash not just of policies, but personalities. And if this moment is any indication, we're just getting started. When a single sentence can shake up the city's political conversation, when one interview makes London stop and listen, you know something's shifting. Because in politics today, truth isn't just about facts, it's about who has the courage to speak from the gut. And the question everyone's asking now is simple. Was Susan Hall just being bold, or did she just say what half of London already believes?